Hey, what's going on, guys? Got TLR here, and here we are for week 9 of the PDL. My battle is going to be against Sublime and the San Antonio Espurrs. This is actually going to be our second sort of take on the battle. We sort of had a disconnection error in the when we first tried to do it, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. Um, and yeah, I guess I forgot to go over my team. We're bringing Tangela, Clefable, Zapdos, Escavalier, Gyarados, and Nidoking, which you can now see on the screen. My opponent has brought Tapu Koko, Zygarde, Rapidash, Raichu, Ferroseed, and Drifblim. I shall be leading Escavalier. The reason for that is because I predicted him to lead Tapu Koko, and if he decided to lead something else like Zygarde or Ferroseed, it wouldn't put me at a disadvantage. So yeah, we're just going to recreate. The battle didn't go on too long. We only had like 5 turns, I think, 5 to 7 turns before the disconnect happened. So we will be able to recreate it, but if it happens again, it'll be annoying. But there's really nothing I can do about that. So yep, he does indeed lead the Coco. And now turn 1, I clicked knockoff because if he decided to Volt Switch, I could catch the Ferroseed or the Rapidash on the Switch, and if he decided to stay in, I get to get rid of the Tapu Koko's item. So he does decide to stay in, and we get to see that he's Terrain Extender, which allows me to prevent him from keeping that terrain on for very long. He goes for Thunderbolt again, so keeps that Tapu Koko in, and I go for Iron Head the second turn, which gives me good damage onto the Tapu Koko, putting him within range of an attack from my Nidoking, which is what I switch into the next turn. This is because I didn't think he would go for a Hidden Power Ice here, either an electric type move like Volt Switch or Thunderbolt, or maybe a U-turn if he wanted to do that. But he does go for the Thunderbolt, so we get Nidoking in freely. And I just go for the Thunderbolt here because it will knock out the Koko from this range. And if he decides to switch into the Drifblim, it'll knock that thing out here as well. He decides to go for the Light Screen to help his Pokemon in the back. And I go for the Thunderbolt, and it does knock out the Tapu Koko through the Light Screen. So yeah, those are the first 3 turns that we had. I get off to a pretty good start. He sends in Alolan Raichu after that, and I hard switch into my Tangela because my Escavalier is a little too low to switch into this thing. And Tangela, being just a defensive pivot, it is a nice check to the Raichu. He goes for the Psyshock here. It doesn't do too much damage, even though I am specially defensive. Tangela just has that good bulk. And I go for the Leech Seed here because it not only gives me a recovery against this Raichu, but if he decides to go for the Volt Switch like he does, it catches something on the switch, gives me chip, and it recovers a little bit of HP for me. He could have gone to Ferroseed, but as you're about to see, he actually goes to Rapidash. But I was okay if he would have gone to Ferroseed because even if I didn't get the Leech Seed off, um, I could have switched into Zapdos. Sorry. I was trying to catch my own train of thought. But here I'm going to switch into Zapdos. Tangela's keeping Tangela pretty healthy because I do have the Regenerator and the recovery I got from that Leech Seed. He ends up going for the Will-O-Wisp on this turn, which isn't too big of a deal for Zapdos, obviously, because Zapdos is a special attacker. And we do get a little more chip with the Leech Seed as well. The next turn, I just go for the Thunderbolt. I'm not going to make a prediction. I knew Thunderbolt hit everything on his team for a decent chunk, bar the Zygarde, which, as you're about to see, he does actually go into. However, I did not need to make a prediction here because I do have 2 really good answers to his Zygarde. One being my Unaware Clef, and the other one being my Tangela that has Hidden Power Ice. So here I'm going to go into my Clefable, right? because he wouldn't go for a steel type move here because he doesn't know if I have hidden power ice or not. And I easily eat up any hit he wants to go for, bar like a steel type move. And I can recover it off the next turn. He ends up going for the Dragon Dance, and since we are unaware, um, that won't be doing anything for him in this situation. And here I ended up going for the Wish, because if he is a Steelium Z, I'll be able to eat it and be able to protect the next turn to get my HP back. So yeah, and this is where the disconnect happens. So there's no turns that I know will happen after this. But yeah, if he is Steelium Z, I can eat it. I won't eat it well, but I'll be able to live it, and I will be able to recover the damage. So he goes for 1,000 arrows. After he sees that damage, he probably knows I'm unaware. I still don't know his item. I really would like to launch off an attack, but I'm not going to risk it because at this range I will indeed die to the Steelium Z. It is possible that he's baiting me, and he does have the Steelium Z and he wants to go for it now, so I am going to protect here. And he goes for another Dragon Dance, so maybe he doesn't know I'm unaware. I am not going to actually, I definitely need to keep this thing healthy. I really want to, hmm. If he Steelium Z's here, and I don't wish, that's really bad. So I am going to wish here. Goes for another 1,000 arrows, okay. I need to get off an attack, because if I get off an attack, I can sort of gauge what item he might be, basically. Because if I see leftovers, then I know he is leftovers. If I see no item, I might be able to assume he is berry. I'm trying to think, because if this thing isn't Z move, what would a Z move be? It's possible that he doesn't have a Z move. We know it's not the Raichu or the Tapu Koko. And I'm assuming his Drift Bloom is um, Electric Seed and his Ferroseed is Eviolite. So I'm going to protect this turn here. He withdraws Zygarde. Okay, so he knows I'm unaware, and since he withdrew, I'm assuming he, well, A, he knows I'm unaware, and B, he doesn't have the Steelium Z. That doesn't mean he doesn't have Iron Tail, but he probably doesn't have the Steelium Z. Because if he did, I think he would have gone for it by now. So we exert our pressure. He probably, oh, he goes for the Leech Seed. Okay. I expected Stealth Rocks, but it doesn't really matter because Zapdos will stay healthy at the end of this turn, and I can launch off a Heat Wave. That'll do damage to anything that comes in by the Rapidash, and if the Rapidash does come in, he probably is expecting this Heat Wave, but I'm okay with this because A, he could make a prediction and go into his Zygarde, which is technically safe no matter what, because I'm not going to go for a Hidden Power Ice here. I'm either going for an Electric move predicting the Rapidash or a Fire type move attacking what's right in front of me. But if he predicts me to go for a Thunderbolt and goes into that, then we have a chance to burn it. But nope, he does make the play of going into Rapidash. It's probably Flash Fire, so I don't think this will actually do any damage to him. Yep. And if this thing is Z-move, I think it'll launch it off right now. I don't know if I live a Z-move from the range I am at. I don't have a switch on bar the Gyarados, but I'm not going to go into Gyarados. Technically, the Zapdos is really only good for checking that Ferroseed on his team, because I have other ways of dealing with the rest of his Pokemon. So I'm actually going to Roost here in case he decides not to go for the Z move. But he does reveal the Z move is on this thing, which means it's not on Zygarde, which is really, really good for me because um, it means that my Clefable can win this game. So since it is Flash Fire boosted, I don't think I can live it, but I am max defense. Yep. So Zapdos goes down, but Zapdos basically did its job, eating up that Z move, preventing him from being able to use it on anything else. I'm going to go to Gyarados here. Now he probably has Wild Charge. However, I don't think I need to make a play, basically. I think I can just stay in a Dragon Dance. I'll probably go for the Will-O-Wisp. Technically, he'll either go for the Will-O-Wisp or the Wild Charge, right? He won't go for Flare Blitz here. That doesn't make any sense. So if we actually double into our Nidoking, Nidoking doesn't really care about being burned, except for, of course, the Sucker Punch. But other than that, it is a special attacker, and if he goes for the Wild Charge, I'm immune. So I'm actually going to make this play. Also, if he decides to double because he predicts me to switch, that's also good, but he does stay in, it looks like, yep, goes for the Wild Charge, doesn't affect me. And now I can easily eat up a Flare Blitz if that's what he wants to go for. I'm not going to try to predict the Drifblim right here, because I can Thunderbolt the next turn. He goes into Wild Card, which is probably his Drifblim, yep. But again, I do have the Thunderbolt on this thing. I also have the Ice Beam, but I don't think he'll switch into his Zygarde. So I'd rather preserve the information that I do have the Ice Beam as opposed to go for the Ice Beam here and try to catch a possible random switch into Zygarde. So, yep, we get off the Thunderbolt. Doesn't quite knock out. He could go for Destiny Bond here. I'm actually going to go for Sucker Punch. This way, if he attacks, we don't have to take any more damage, and if he does have the Destiny Bond, which he does, we don't have to go down either. So here, I think I'm going to Thunderbolt again. I could Ice Beam, but I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt. It's the safer play. I guess it's not the safer play, but it's the play I'm going to make just to preserve some information. It also might make him try to set up on my Nidoking, although I do have the okay. I don't think he'll set up though, because I do have the Unaware Clef. I think he'll go straight for the either Iron Tail if he does have it, or 1,000 Arrows. So Tangela eats up both of those hits. Goes for the 1,000 Arrows. So here, if he has the Outrage, I don't think he'll go for Outrage. He'll probably switch to Ferroseed. He could switch to Rapidash as well. So I'm going to go to Clefable, because Clefable can Wish Pass to goes to Ferroseed. Okay, Clefable can Wish Pass to the Escavalier on this Ferroseed, and I really want to knock off that Ferroseed's Eviolite. So I'm actually not going to hard switch. I'm going to Wish Pass right here. And if you did watch the team builder, which should have gone up yesterday, I know this is actually going up a little later than usual. The team builder went up on Sunday, and this should be going up on Monday. That's because we're battling on Sunday. So, but yeah, if you did watch the team builder that I put up, we are min speed on Clefable, so Gyro Ball won't do too much. And then Escavalier goes for a Spike. That's fine. And we inherit the Wish, and that's going to put us up very healthy, yes. And now he does not have any resist to knock off, which means something is A, losing its item, and B, okay, he reveals protect, which is really, really good information. But yeah, something has to take a good chunk and lose its item. Except for, of course, if he wants to send in his Rapidash, that won't have to lose its item because it is Z move and he can't knock off Z moves, but that's not too important. Got off a good chunk. And like I think he'll Flare Blitz. I don't think he has any reason not to. But the thing is, I actually kind of want to keep Escavalier. Who do I not need anymore? Technically, I don't need Tangela anymore. So I'm actually going to go into that, and this also eats up a wild charge if he wants to make a prediction. He could also go for the Will-O-Wisp, because he can technically burn anything on my team, which would be nice for him. Yep, he does go for the Will-O-Wisp. Cool. Well, we do eat up a Flare Blitz if he goes for that next turn. And I'm just going to Sludge Bomb and hope he stays in. I think he'll switch out because I think he needs this Rapidash to win. But if he does go for the Flare Blitz, then I knock out the Rapidash, and that's really, really important for me. And technically, we also keep Tangela, but again, I don't really need Tangela at this point. So, if he does end up knocking out Tangela in the near future... Oh, he goes for Morning Sun. Okay, so he has Will-O-Wisp, Flare Blitz, Will-O-Wisp, and Morning Sun. If we poison this, that's nice. If we don't, that's okay as well. No poison. Okay. So we won't actually knock out with a combination of Flare Blitz, Recoil, plus Sludge Bomb. So I'm actually going to Leech Seed here, and that way, that sort of kind of gives me the ability to set up. He actually goes right back into Ferris Seed. That's fine. I'm probably going to set up more spikes, but that's okay as well. He has Protect, Spike, and Leech Seed. So he either doesn't have a Grass type move or doesn't have Gyro Ball. Which could be really important, because if he does have Gyro Ball as his only attacking move, which means Gyarados can set up on this thing. This thing can't beat Gyarados 1v1, which is important. It's very important. Just going to go for the knockoff again. He withdraws Ferris Seed, that's fine. Back out into Rapidash. We get damage off on this thing, which is good. Let's see. Knockoff does 65 technically. Mega Horn does do more. Mega Horn will do 90 if it connects. So I'm actually going to go for that. I'm okay with sacking Escavalier at this point because I think we'll be able to set up with one of our sweepers in the near future, and I think that will be game. Since he won't be able to get the speed boost on either of his Pokemon that would be able to revenge kill. Like, he goes for the Morning Sun, okay. So as long as we connect. This is good. If we don't connect, that sucks just a little bit, but we do connect. Hit him with the Mega Horn. And that does a little too much damage for him to recover off, so I'm going to just go for the knockoff here. I just want that good damage. Goes for another Morning Sun. He only has 8 of these. That's 3. That's the third one. So we are inevitably stalling him out of recovery. Yeah, and that does a little less than 50%. So here I think he's just going to Flare Blitz. It will knock out my Escavalier, but he'll be put in a range where he'll be in a little bit of a bad spot. Technically, I could have saved this and went back out into Tangela, but this also covers if he decides to go for a Morning Sun again. But he doesn't. He goes to the Will-O-Wisp. Wants to burn my Escavalier, but that's okay because I don't technically need this thing not burned, if that makes sense. So he just barely hangs on, which is a little unfortunate, but since I'm almost certain he's going to Morning Sun here, I'm actually going to go into my Clefable here because this should be a free switch. Yep, we do see the Morning Sun. So he's going to heal his Rapidash back up. That's not too big of a deal. Here I'm going to Wish because he's probably... Nope, he goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Okay. It's an okay play because obviously chipping Clefable might be his only way of beating it at this point. But he's going to end up letting me get Calm Minds, and I don't like that play because if Clefable gets up too many Calm Minds, it's pretty much game over. But then again, he also doesn't know I have Calm Mind. But now he will, as he's going to see the Calm Mind right here. So he's probably going to hard switch into Ferroseed at this point because, he might just Flare Blitz until his Rapidash goes down. Either way, I'm going to Wish because if he hard switches into Ferroseed, that's kind of Calm Mind fodder for me because I'm in speed with no speed Ivies. Yep, he does go for the Flare Blitz. So this is why I made the Wish play. It does a good chunk, but not enough. Based on that damage, we will live another one if he goes for it. But I am not going to make any risky plays. I'm going to protect here to keep my Clefable as healthy as possible. See the Flare Blitz again, goes right into the protect. And we're back at full. So here I'm just going to make the Wish play again. Sorry if you can hear my phone. Probably should silence that while I'm recording. You do see the Flare Blitz, so he does not want to give me any more Calm Minds, so that's okay with me. We Wish up. And here I'm going to make a play that some people might think is interesting. I'm actually going to Moonblast here. This will knock out the Rapidash if it goes for Flare Blitz. And if he does decide to switch, it also gets damage on a switch into Ferroseed, so that's fine. So this obviously won't do too much. Yep, but once we get to +6, so yeah, I'm going to Calm Mind here because I actually don't think he'll go straight for the Gyro Ball. I think he'll go for the Leech Seed first. So I'm going to Wish, and then I'm going to I'm going to Calm Mind, and then I'm going to Wish. And I don't think Clefable is going to win this game, but I think Clefable is going to weaken his team to the point where Gyarados will win this game. And yep, he does go for the Leech Seed. Does connect. here, I think he's going to go for Gyro Ball, but again, I am in speed, specifically for this Ferroseed. So I'm going to Wish. I think he's going to Gyro Ball. He's going to see it doesn't do very much, and then he's going to switch to Rapidash. So I'm actually going to Wish, and then I'm going to Moonblast. Because if we can knock out that Rapidash, I think it'll go down to +2 Moonblast from 50%. I have not done the calc. He actually hard withdraws. Interesting. Okay. I'm okay with this play. Because it means I can just go hard for the Moonblast anyway. It probably won't knock out after he gets the Leech Seed recovery. But if he goes for the Flare Blitz, then it will definitely knock out. Although I don't think he'll go for the Flare Blitz. He might though. That would be nice. So yep, we're going to go for the Moonblast here, although I half expect him to go for maybe even a Wild Charge. Nope, he does go for the Flare Blitz. Okay, that's great because I can live this and get the... okay, maybe it won't knock out. He did get a pretty good chunk from that Leech Seed, but it'll do a lot, and that's the important thing. Yep, just barely misses out on the knockout. We got a special attack drop, that doesn't matter. He's revealed his whole set, doesn't have any special moves. So he's probably going to Morning Sun here, which is okay. I'm actually going to Wish. And I think I'll Protect next turn to get Clefable healthy, and then I'll switch out. That is his fourth or fifth Morning Sun. Technically, we could also Moonblast here, but it's probably a roll on the Flare Blitz at the range I'm going to be at, and I don't know if I'm comfortable making that. I could also Calm Mind. But yeah, I think I'm going to Protect to get my Clefable as healthy as possible. Oh yeah, it probably isn't a roll actually. But yeah, I want my Clefable as healthy as possible. Goes for a Flare Blitz into the Protect. That's fine. The one thing we can't let happen is our Gyarados get burned. We can't let our Gyarados get burned. So here he's almost certainly going to go for the Flare Blitz. He really doesn't have a reason not to. Again, Tangela is not necessary, although Escavalier is not really going to be doing that much either. It's kind of nice because it can knock off the Ferroseed's Eviolite, but I guess Tangela is a little more useless than Escavalier because Escavalier does have that knockoff. Yep, we do see the Flare Blitz. We'll be able to eat one of these, but I'll probably just go for another Flare Blitz next turn. We technically could switch Tangela out, but there is no need. I shall Leech Seed in case he decides to make some sort of prediction. But yeah, he does just make the safe play of Flare Blitz. I don't actually want to set up my Gyarados on this thing. I think it will be safer to set up on probably the Zygarde. Question is, how do I bait the Zygarde in? I'm going into Clefable here because now that he doesn't have the reliable recovery, Clefable is in a position where I can beat this thing 1v1 again. I'm going to Wish here to keep my Clefable healthy if he wants to go for the Flare Blitz. If he decides to hard switch into Ferroseed, then I can actually Wish past to my Nidoking, because he won't be able to knock that out from the range it's at. But yeah, I think our win con is Gyarados right now because without access to that electric terrain anymore. So he actually does stay in and go for the Flare Blitz, so that's fine. We'll be able to Wish and basically get all this health back. No need to try to make a play. I'm just going to protect here to guarantee I get this health back. If he decides to switch, that's fine. Yep, he does stay in. Makes sense. He didn't want me getting a Calm Mind up. That could have been bad for him. So we are running out of wishes as he's running out of Morning Suns, but that's okay because again, Clefable is not going to be winning this game. Gyarados should be. He goes for the Morning Sun there. That is fine. That should actually get me a Calm Mind. I don't expect him to switch this turn. I could also go for a Moonblast just to get some chip. Maybe that's the play. I'd rather Calm Mind. Even though I do expect him to go into Fairy Seed. Yep. Yeah, wait. Oh, he goes into Drift Bloom. We know this thing has Knockoff and Destiny Bond. I don't know if it has Will-O-Wisp. If it does, then I don't want to be going into, He's probably going to knock off right here. I don't see him going for Destiny Bond. I think he wants to knock off my leftovers so he can wear this down faster, and therefore I am going to go for... Actually, I'm going to go for the Protect first turn. Because if he does go for the Destiny Bond, then he won't be able to go for it next turn. Yep, we do see the knockoff. That's fine. I'm actually going to Calm Mind here again. We do see the knockoff. That's fine. It will mean Clefable will be getting worn down a little easier now, but since Clefable isn't going to be our win con in this game, I'm okay with that. We're not at +2 special attack and special defense. Here I'm going to Wish on what I assume to be a Destiny Bond. I don't see him switching, although he could. If I go for Moonblast, though, that does give me a little too... it gets me damage on Ferroseed, which I don't know if he wants that. And if he goes into Ferroseed... Yeah, he does Destiny Bond. That's what I expected. So now Destiny Bond will wear off next turn after he makes a move. So we can launch off an attack. If he stays in, we get rid of this Drift Bloom, although that's not like a huge deal for him. He doesn't really need Drift Bloom anymore. And if he does switch, I just get the Wish back into my Clefable. Alright, so we get the Moonblast off. Boom. Big damage, big damage. We get a special attack drop. That does not matter. It doesn't have any special attacks. And here, he'll probably go for the Leech Seed. I'm going to Wish. And I'm actually going to go hard into Nidoking the next turn. Since he did stay in. Yep, and he goes for the Leech Seed. Perfect. The Fairy Seed doesn't even heal up to full, so it's taking a little bit of chip, although that's probably not going to matter too much. And right into our Nidoking. He could stay in and go for Gyro Ball, but that could also allow me to set up more Calm Minds with Clefable. I think if anything, he goes hard into his Rapidash here, because that can prevent me from getting up Calm Minds. If he goes for Gyro Ball here, I should be able to live it, but nope, he does switch out into Rapidash. Okay. So since we are able to inherit this wish, we will be at full health, which means we will be able to live a Flare Blitz, which means we can launch off an Earth Power right here. Not going to try to predict if he wants to stay in and go for a Flare Blitz, we get rid of the Rapidash, and that will make it a lot easier for Gyarados, because it doesn't have to worry about the Will-O-Wisp. Gonna Sucker Punch again here. Fails, he goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Okay. I avoid the attack. That kind of sucks because the chip would have been really nice. But he has revealed the Will-O-Wisp, which is good. And now I'm actually going to go into Clefable. He's probably... he doesn't switch out. Okay, that's fine. Destiny Bond. Nope, goes for the Will-O-Wisp again. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to Wish. And if he stays in, I'm going to attack the next turn. If he switches out, then I will Protect to get my Clefable back up to relatively full. Probably. It depends on what he goes into. Fairy Seed? Okay. Here I'm going to Protect. Get Clefable healthy again. We see him go for a Spike, so he predicts my Protect. Good play for him, but I don't think that Spikes is really going to matter. Just have to bait that Zygarde in. He's going to go for Leech Seed here, so I'm going to go into Escavalier. None of my Pokemon really bait Zygarde in, though. Except for the, oh, we avoid Leech Seed. That also sucks for him because now he has to switch. If he got the Leech Seed off, he could have protected. If we get a knockout with Nidoking, he probably will want to send in his Zygarde as opposed to anything. So here I'm going to knock off. Because if we get rid of the Pharisees Evilite, that is really good. Really important for us. So he's probably going to switch, and I assume he's going to switch into his Rapidash again. Yep. But I'm okay with letting Escavalier go down here. Because Escavalier has done his part. Just going to go for another knockoff. Gonna go for the Flare Blitz, yep. Take the chip, that's not going to matter too much. We're going to send in our Nidoking right here. So Nidoking, we do have a good amount of bulk on this thing, so you should be able to live a Flare Blitz. So we're going to Earth Power here. If he stays in, I think we knock out the Rapidash. If he switches out, I really hope it's not into that Drifbloom, because then we have to play the Destiny Bond game. Because we have to get a knockout, but we also can't let our Nidoking go down. He does withdraw Rapidash into Zygarde. Ooh. Okay, that was actually smart for him, because he realizes that Zygarde's not going to be able to win. And if I switch out and switch back in, the Spikes damage will probably mean I die to Spikes damage probably means I die to Flare Blitz. This has just become a lot more difficult. I might have to dodge a Will-O-Wisp to win this game. because I can't let him get up a Dragon Dance here. Unless I switch out to Clefable, but if I switch out to Clefable, then I can't make this series of plays again. Alright, I'm going to Ice Beam because I cannot let him get up a... Okay, he Thousand Arrows. That's actually better for me. Because at this range, Thousand Arrows should knock out my Nidoking, yep. And it should allow me to get in my Gyarados and get a free Dragon Dance up. I don't think this thing has any way to hit Gyarados for any like really good amount of damage. Obviously, it can Outrage, but I'm okay with taking an Outrage. So, of course, we do have to Mega Evolve here. But that's better for me because it increases my defense. If he switches out here, that's really good as well. Alright, so I kind of think I'll switch out into Fair Seed, but I'm okay with that. Man, Rest Talk Gyarados would have won at this point, which would have been nice, but it's okay. Because I think Gyarados can still win with the set it has. He's actually going to stay in, so that's really good, especially if he goes for an attack. Because if he goes for an attack, then I get the free Dragon Dance up, and I might even be able to Dragon Dance again. So he Dragon Dances himself, that's a fine play. Because he Dragon Danced himself, I'm not going to... Because since he didn't go for the Iron Tail, he probably has Extreme Speed. Which means he'll probably He'll either Outrage or Thousand Arrows here. Crunch will knock him out from this range, so I don't think I have any reason to try to make a prediction. Actually, he won't Thousand Arrows into Extreme Speed doesn't make a lot of sense. The only bad thing is if he goes for another Dragon Dance, but I don't think he'll do that. If I get another Dragon Dance, I think I win immediately. But if he goes for another Dragon Dance, then I think I might lose immediately. So I'm going to make the safe play and Crunch. Yep, he does go for the Thousand Arrows, so if I went for another Dragon Dance, obviously I wouldn't have won, but I would have been in a really good position. But we are just going to knock out the Zygarde right here, and we are a +1 speed and attack Gyarados. So now he pretty much has to go to the Fair Seed right here. And Crunch is going to do a hearty chunk to this thing, as he probably Leech Seeds. Boom. Oh, that does so much damage. We get a defense drop, which really sucks, unfortunately for him. He goes for the Leech Seed. Lands, but that might just be game because of that defense drop. Actually, maybe not. It might be, though. Because he's probably going to Protect here. I can't see him not going for Protect, because if he loses Fair Seed, then I just attack the rest of his Pokemon. Yep, he does Protect, and I get up a second Dragon Dance. Unless I misclicked. I'm pretty sure I clicked Dragon Dance, right? Yep. And I just Crunch a few times. He's going to switch out Fair Seed. He's going to attempt to Protect Stall me. That's what I think he's going to do anyway. But I don't know if he has enough sacks for that. And if he stays in with Fair Seed, then it's over. He does withdraw Fair Seed into Wild Card. That thing's going to go down. Bop bop. No matter how this game ends, it's going to be very, very close. Goes into the fair seed probably here. It protects. Let's see. This is actually going to be super close. I went down from 70 something to 55. So I do live 2 more rounds of Leech Seed. I'm gonna Dragon Dance here. If he Gyro Balls, then I lose. He does protect, okay. I'm pretty sure Leech Seed and Iron Barbs do the same amount. Which is why I think I'll live a combination of Leech Seed plus Iron Barbs. Yeah, so I take 15, 20, 23, okay. So here I'm going to crunch. And as long as I live the Iron Barbs. He could also, of course, switch. Which he probably will. I think his best play is switch, sack, come in, protect, and then let me go down to the Iron Barbs. And then it's a matter of whether Clefable can beat his last Pokemon. Such a close game. This is a really good game, though. Ooh. He is going to, if he stays in, I think he just loses. So I don't think he's going to do that unless he has like fake out. He stays in, he's going to attempt to live, but based on how much damage the +1 crunch did, yeah, I didn't think he would be able to do that. If he has fake out on Raichu, he probably wins the game. But he's Life Orb. Would he have fake out on Raichu? It's very possible, but I'm hoping he doesn't. He goes into Rapidash. So I'm just going to Earthquake this here. I know it's Flash Fire, not Flame Body, but Earthquake is the play. I know this thing's full moveset, so I also know it doesn't have I also know it doesn't have any priority or anything. Or even Bright Powder. So he actually switches into Raichu right there from his Rapidash, but I'm guessing that means he didn't have any he ran out of resources at that point, and Gyarados is going to clean this game up. So my goodness, that was a really close and a really good game. I probably going to say that was the best game I've had, at least on my part. That was my best played game throughout the entirety of the PDL. So I'm gonna finish this Rapidash off with an Earthquake. We know it's Z move, so it can't be like Focus Band or Bright Powder, which means this Rapidash will go down. Really, really good game to my opponent. Really pushed me to the edge and made me have to think through every turn. That was just an amazing game. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, it really does mean a lot to me. I don't think I have anything else to say. I will see you next weekend with week 10 of the PDL. So yeah, see you guys later.